Okay, what's up people? It's time for VEDM vlog number 5, and today I'm going to be doing a top 5 list of my top 5 favorite learny, educationally awesome YouTube channels. So if you don't really care about watching new channels or you don't like learning and awesomeness, then you can just leave now, just like if you care. But for the rest of you, I'm going to be going with top 5 favorite educational YouTube channels that are more than just stuff you'd learn in school. So for number 5, I'm going to have to go with Crash Course. Now, the reason I put this as number 5 instead of something higher is because I only watch the history ones, the literature ones with John Green because I'm not as big of a science nerd as I am a history nerd. But from what I know, the science ones are very good. Just not something that I want to be watching. But the history ones I love because it's taking history from a different perspective, and he goes into very good detail about it and talking about the world history. There's an overarching theme of how we got to the more closely knit globalized society that we have today. And I thought that was really nice. He's only partway through the US history when I'm recording this, but it's still pretty good. And he also did the literature, which has Great Gatsby, Catcher in the Rye, Romeo and Juliet, and Emily Dickinson poems, which were very interesting. Okay, so for number 4, I'm going to be going with Minute Physics. Now, and also his secondary channel, Minute Earth. They're very short. I think the longest one's only about 4 minutes, so, that's why they're called Minute Physics. And they're short explanations of different scientific principles and even some math stuffs, which, spoiler, there is another math one on this list. But they're very short videos that cohesively explain different scientific theories, and one of his recent Minute Earth videos, he did a 3-video series about why plants are green, and it's really interesting, and stuff like how does freezer burn happen, and he explains Schrodinger's cat, which is very interesting. And yeah, just very good presentation. He does it all with Sharpies and whiteboard markers and all that fun stuff, just writing it down, drawing little pictures to go with it. And he has some very high quality stuff. He actually works for a university, so good credentials there. Just the camera there. Okay, so for number 3, I'm going to be going with Vi Hart. She is, I think she calls herself a math musician, and she does stuff about math and different mathematical principles. She did a video about the science of music, which was really cool, the reason why we find music and different sounds appealing together, which was a really interesting video. And she does some stuff about the golden ratio and obscure irrational numbers and different things like pi and tau. And she hates pi, loves tau, which she explains quite well. And just different mathematical proofs, if you are into math and doodles, or if you just find that kind of stuff interesting, I would suggest her for you. Okay, so for number 2, this was a very tough choice for me, but I'm gonna have to go with number 2. I'm gonna go with CGP Grey. Now, he does a lot more facts stuff, and he has a long series about the voting system and how current voting systems usually don't work as well, and government stuff. Why first past the post is a really not efficient procedure, especially for long running elections. And he did stuff like why we don't need the penny anymore. History of, he's doing a series right now about Vatican City, which is really interesting because I don't actually know much about Vatican City, and how you can't actually be born a citizen of Vatican City. Vatican City is a company, and the church, and a country, and a state, and a city, and all 15 different things at once. So it was a really interesting video. Wow, I just realized that only 2 of the 5 on my list actually show their faces at any point during their video. CGP Grey actually has a weird obsession, even when he's being interviewed, he never shows his face, or he has people put his logo over his face. But yeah, he's a high quality, he does a wide range of subjects, and you can usually find something on, if you're watching him, you can usually find something related to what you want. He does a wide range, like history, science, government, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, one of my favorites. It was a very close race between him and number one, but he does shorter videos. That's probably what you're looking for if you're on YouTube. So, yeah, number 2 goes to CGP Grey. Okay, and for number 1, I'm going to be going with Vsauce. Now, the way he sets up his videos is he has the main title be some sort of question, like, do I see the red the same way that you do, or how much does a human cost, or, I think he did one with, like, what would happen if the Earth was hollow, or how long can you survive in space, or how much money is there, and just these kind of broad topics, and then he will just go from, like, a sub-point of that question, and he'll go from there and go for like a minute or two on that, and then he'll go to a different sub-point of the main question and go for a minute or two on that. So it's just like a good 10 to 15 minute video of just random facts shot at you, rapid fire, all pertaining to a main theme, like how much money is there, and he went with, okay, what kind of money are we talking about? Are we talking physical money? Are we talking money that exists but is not physical, or like stuff in the banks? And it's just really interesting. I think he has some of the best presentation. Also, he shows his face, which is kind of nice. And he also has different sub-channels that if you want to have that same kind of stuff, but you don't want to go with the broad general topic, you can also go with... He has some stuff, or he has this secondary channel of just different internet topics, like random websites or cool products. And then he also has a third channel that's related to video game science, so it's like, how much money is there in the Mario world, or is a rocket jump possible? And just these little, like, the broad topics that he can then break down into different parts, and sometimes he answers the question, sometimes he doesn't, but in the general, he gets, if you want to just waste, an hour, just watch 5 or 6 of his videos, and you'll feel a lot smarter, and you'll have plenty of little useless knowledge that you can throw out to impress your friends, or try to look smart, or, bonus points at a quiz or something, I don't know. But, yeah. So since my entire video today has been YouTube recommendations, I'm not going to do my regular YouTube recommendation. Well, okay, I'll put up a close contender. My 2 closest contenders for this were also Numberphile and Smarter Every Day. Numberphile does different math stuffs, and it's run by a bunch of British dudes, but they talk about different, like, history of maths and different theorems, and like how many possible Sudokus are there, or what is the fastest way you can possibly solve any Rubik's Cube. Answers 22 moves. Yeah. And then Smarter Every Day, they just do a bunch of... He does so many different things, I can't even talk about it, but he's like gone to the Space Museum, and he does a lot of slow-mo stuff, lighting a match by shooting it. I believe he did do that, but it took obscene accuracy, so not something you can try at home. And yeah. So that is my VEDM for today. I think you should all check out those channels. They're very good, much better than mine. And I'll talk to you later. DFTBA. I can't think of a third example, dang it. Right.